This is Business Week Armenia, CivilNet's weekly economic digest. Here's what you need to know this week. Armenia's gross domestic product, a broad measure of goods and services produced, expanded by 9.2% in the first 3 months of the year, according to the latest figures out this week from Armenia's state statistical agency. Much of the growth last quarter was driven by booms in manufacturing and processing, wholesale and retail trade, financial and insurance activities, and construction, which all expanded by double-digit figures year on year. That was tempered by declines in public administration and defense spending, mining, transport and logistics, and information technology and telecommunications. These latest figures show Armenia's economy is continuing to expand substantially, even after growing by 8.7% last year and 12.6% the year prior, marking 2 consecutive years as the fastest-growing economy in the region. That has largely been fueled by massive inflows of capital and labor from Russia and soaring trade between the two countries, including a vibrant re-export business. Armenia's trade topped $20 billion for the first time last year, including more than $7 billion in trade with Russia, the world's most sanctioned country. Armenia's government is forecasting 7% growth for this year. India is ready to consider offers from Armenia on joining on to a major port project in Iran, New Delhi's envoy to Yerevan indicated this week, just days after India and Iran reached a new agreement to develop the project further, and after the United States warned fresh sanctions are possible. We are waiting for details from the Armenian side, and definitely we would consider them once we receive concrete proposals, Ambassador Nilakshi Saha Sinha told the Armen press news agency in an exclusive interview published this week. The week before, New Delhi and Tehran signed a new 10-year, $370 million contract to further develop Chabahar, a strategically located port in southeastern Iran that India built and operates to bypass its arch-rival, Pakistan. Armenia has previously expressed interest in joining the project and has even indicated India and Iran may be willing to grant it preferential treatment to use the port. Just hours later, a State Department spokesperson reiterated that U.S. sanctions on Iran remain in place and will continue to enforce them, specifically noting that Washington does not plan to make any exceptions for the Chabahar project. Anyone considering business deals with Iran needs to be aware of the potential risk that they are opening themselves up to, Vedant Patel told reporters. In response, India's top diplomat Subrahmanyam Jaishankar urged the United States not to take a narrow view of this and appreciate the fact that Chabahar has a larger relevance. Armenia has so far not commented publicly on these latest developments. Armenia indicated this week the 20% internal rate of return granted to the Luxembourg-based conglomerate that runs the country's main airport remains a key sticking point as talks continue over a major expansion plan. The negotiations are quite difficult since we believe it is impossible to extend the concession agreement as it is now, since there are parameters that are unacceptable for Armenia in today's reality, Deputy Prime Minister Meher Grigoryan told lawmakers at a parliamentary question and answer session this week. Continuing, Grigoryan revealed the Armenian government wants to lower the 20% internal rate of return granted to Corporación America Airports, which operates Zvartnots International Airport and is ultimately controlled by the Argentine-Armenian billionaire Eduardo Ernequian. The Armenian government signed a 30-year concession agreement with Corporación America Airports in 2001, placing management of Zvartnots in Ernequian's hands. In the decades since, the company, the world's largest private airport operator, has poured over $160 million into the facility, including the construction of a new terminal. Zvartnots smashed its all-time passenger traffic record last year at more than 5.3 million people, representing a year-on-year increase of 46%. Observers say that is mainly due to the rerouting of traffic to and from Russia through Armenia following the imposition of international sanctions and other restrictions on Russia's aviation sector in response to its invasion of Ukraine. Earlier this month, Corporación America Airports indicated it was prepared to invest an additional $400 million in Zvartnots for the construction of a second terminal to handle increased traffic, if it can finalize an expansion agreement with the Armenian government. There was no immediate reaction from the company to Grigoryan's call to lower the internal rate of return. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.